Welcome to Spicer and Company. I'm David Brody, filling in for Sean Spicer.
And I'm Lindsay Keith. Well, David, you think we wouldn't be shocked by now, but President Trump has riled up the left yet again.
Yeah, true, Lindsay, and not hard to do, by the way. You know, there's been a run, I think, on Alka-Seltzer by Democrats since this president took over. Lindsay, you're right. President Trump has made getting under the skin of the far left a sport. As a matter of fact, he gets a gold medal in that category. But the question is, did he go too far by ticking off some independents and even some of his NASCAR base with this tweet about NASCAR's only black drivers? This is what he said, quote, has Bubba Wallace apologized to all of those great NASCAR drivers and officials who came to his aid, stood by his side, and were willing to sacrifice everything for him, only to find out that the whole thing was just another hoax? That and flag decision has caused lowest ratings ever, exclamation point, by the way. Of course, he's referring to the noose found at Wallace's racetrack garage. At the time, Wallace called it a despicable act of racism. The FBI has investigated, found that the noose had actually been there for over a year. It was therefore not a hate crime, according to the FBI. Still, as you can imagine, the president's tweet about Bubba prompted a lot of questions for White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany.
What is the president's position? Does he think NASCAR made a mistake by banning the Confederate flag? Does he think it was a mistake for NASCAR to ban it?
Why is it Bubba Wallace's responsibility to apologize for an investigation into a noose that he didn't report and he never even saw? It was NASCAR that found this, that reported this, and even the FBI referred to it as a noose, even if they said it wasn't a specific crime against Mr. Wallace. Why is the president even suggesting that Mr. Wallace should apologize?
How are we misinterpreting that?
Clearly, the media up in a lather. The president wasn't done on the culture war and race issues, by the way. He later tweeted about how the Washington Redskins and Cleveland Indians are looking at changing their name that some claim are racist. This is what the president said. They name teams out of strength, not weakness. But now the Washington Redskins and Cleveland Indians, two fabled sports franchises, look like they are going to be changing their names in order to be politically correct. Indians, like Elizabeth Warren, must be very angry right now. Another exclamation point. And there's more. This is all on the same day, by the way. Multiple times he called COVID-19 the China virus, which some folks, of course, have criticized the president for, saying the term China virus is racist. Of course, others say, hello, it came from China. So let's ask some obvious questions. Is this race baiting exactly, or is he playing to his base? Is this just Donald Trump just not being politically correct once again? I mean, you know, he reminds me of the uncle at the party. We all have him. Those uncles say whatever they want. You know, it's here you go, Donald, Uncle Donald is at the party. Buckle up. Look the other way. Well, look, his base for the most part loves it. The far left thinks he's worse than the devil. And FYI, that's pretty hard to do. Joining us now to talk about the important issue here, a recent winner of the Republican primary for the 4th Congressional District in Utah and former Super Bowl champion. Where's that ring? Burgess Owens. Welcome to the show, Burgess. Appreciate it.
There you go, Dave. There you go, buddy.
Listen, I got to ask you, look, we want to get to your upcoming election, but and congratulations on that. But look, these tweets by the president, do you think the tweets about Bubba Wallace crossed the line? What's your sense on that?
Absolutely not. Because Bubba Wallace, first of all, I played in NFL. I know what it is to be a team member. I know what it is to be loyal to not only my team but my fans. Bubba Wallace, I don't know what's happened to this new manhood today. He could have looked at that little noose and said very easily, it's not a racist deal. First of all, he knows his fans. He knows his fan base. He knows they're not racist. For him to take that opportunity to go out and call his good buddies, all these guys who continue to focus on racism is a problem. So no, the fact that he's wearing his Black Lives Matter kind of shows what he's thinking. I think the fans need to be very, very careful. You're giving Bubba a big platform. You're giving him an opportunity to show that we are not what the leftists would like to call them. We cannot have people within the organization, that's being trusted, to turn on them the way Bubba did. Yeah. First thing Bubba should have done is said, no, these people aren't this way. I can take a look at that noose. It's not a noose. It's a carpool. It's just as simple as that. Never would have been a big issue, but he's made a big issue of it.
Interesting about, listen to me. Let me, Burgess, sorry about that. I'm getting my B's confused. Look, I want to ask you a question about something on this Black National Anthem that we've heard quite a bit about, and you've been outspoken about it. Let me read you exactly what you said on Twitter. You said, as a kid, I was told which water fountain I had to use. Don't you dare tell me which national anthem I stand for. It's a beautiful hymn, but the racist notion of saying, here, you have this anthem is unacceptable. I'm a proud American, proud of my history, and proud of that flag. Burgess, what do you think?
First of all, I grew up during a time when that hymn was a very, very important hymn. If you listen to the words or read the words, you find it's all about God, it's about nation. Unfortunately, because of what the left has done to many black kids today, they will never read those because they can't read. But here it comes down to this. I grew up during a time when the Democrats was really focused on separate but equal. It is, once again, the Democrats, these cowards, that are now telling us to be separate but equal. So how are we supposed to deal with this? Are white Americans now supposed to stand for the black anthem? If not, they look at as racist. Or black Americans now okay to kneel because they don't believe the American flag it represents their country? Understand what we're up against. This is the evil of divisiveness. This is what Marxists and socialists do. They're good at it. They've been doing it for a long, long time. Our country is one that we come to this nation and we assimilate. We look at pride in our country, the sacrifice that's been given by many, many millions of men and women throughout our history to become a better nation. There's no nation like this country. And the wealthiest of those now, the elitists, those who can live the American dream, fly around in private jets, are the first ones telling everybody else that this is a racist country. No, we're not. We're a country that has gotten past a lot of that stuff. We need to understand who our enemy is at this point.
Burgess, I'm going to get to the race in a moment. I do want to ask you a little bit about your upbringing. Look, you grew up black in the Deep South. What was that like? Because what was it, a family of Democrats? I mean, how did this work exactly? And how did you, I guess Republicans or conservatives will say, come to see the light, if you will? Well,
we were a race that was very, very proud of who we were in the 40s, 50s, and 60s because of the tenets of education, faith, industry, and family. We led the country in the growth of the middle class. Men matriculated from college. Men committed to marriage over 70%, and the percentage of entrepreneurs over 40%. In the 60s, we had over 50 to 60% of black Americans living the middle class dream. So no, we were doing okay until the elitist leftists, the black among us, started putting together policies along with their white Democratic friends that actually put us in a totally different place. I was the black American to go to the University of Miami. I know what racism looks like. We've come so far. The fact that we can talk about 8 years of a black president and what he did or didn't do. We now talk about an entertainer now running for president is a black person. These are things that we now take for granted. It's no big deal, but it also shows how far we've come. Understand, there are people who do not like our system. They're Marxists. BLM Inc. is an organization, political organization that started. Just do this whole thing I love about our country today. Do your homework before jumping in and going with the mantra. Do your homework. These are Marxists. These are communists, and they do what they do best. They divide us. They hate God. They hate our country. They hate our culture, and they're going to tear down everything they can. And for those who understand this, we need to have the courage to stand against them. Burgess, your race, you're in, I guess they would consider what a conservative, or excuse me, it's leaning Democrat to a degree. This is what the DCCC said. Let me read you this. This is what they said about the race. They said, Utah policy put it best earlier this month. Owens is, quote, clearly the most partisan candidate in the race and is out of the mainstream agenda, is the wrong fit for modern Utah voters. This is what they're going to try to tie you to Trump as well. You know that's coming. What's the response, Burgess? Well, first of all, I'm a proud American, and I don't back down. I'm proud of anybody who goes after bullies like the Democrats. I don't back down. This district is plus 13. I'm very proud to represent a district that has been always very much into our American culture. We love our God. We love educating our kids. We love work, and we love our families. So if that's too far right, I'm all in. One thing I will never do, back down from anybody who's doing the very best he can do for our race. And my race, along with Hispanics, Asians, women, veterans, have done better than on this president, anybody in the history of our country. 400% growth in black ownership. I am not going to back down on anyone who's been loyal to my God, country, and family. And so at the end of the day, I have faith in this district that we will do the right job. We'll be the linchpin. We're between 1 and 3 of must-have by both sides. We'll do the right thing and be the linchpin of our nation to bring us back in the right direction because we love our culture and we're willing to fight for it. We're not cowards here in Utah. Burgess Owens, a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Good luck out there in Utah. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. Coming up, if Joe Biden wins in November, is it going to cost you more money? By the way, that's a good tease. I'm going to stick around for that. I'm here all hour, by the way. Grover Norquist also going to be with us to discuss that. And then comedian Adam Carolla
will be here to give us the politically correct view from Hollywood. I'm sure liberals are going to love that. Plus, we'll be back with more on the topic of race baiting. And Congressman Michael Burgess, the second Burgess in the show, here from one of the COVID-19 hotspots in Texas to discuss his state's response to the virus. Busy show, back in a moment.